What is up, everybody? How are you all doing? And welcome to FPL Q&A for Game Week 20. I know Game Week 19 is not over yet, but getting it done because I do have work tomorrow, last day of work. And then we do, of course, have Christmas, so there may not be videos over Christmas, depending on what I'm doing with the family, such and such. So, this is the final stream before we all get a little bit fatter, drink a little bit more alcohol, get a little bit more merry, and a little bit more unhealthy. By the way, of course, drinking beer as usual, and I believe I have to down that actually because I now have over 1,000 points. Finally hit it before Game Week 20, hit it halfway through. So right now, if I have a slow start to the second half of the season, I'm going to hit about 2,000 points-ish. But right now I'm on 1,007 points for the game week. I'm on 83 points at the moment, according to the official website, but I believe my Fantasy Football Fix app says I'm on 87. So we're not doing too badly. And yeah, I did take a -4. As you can see, the transfers I made, De Bruyne and Sterling came in for Hazard and Son. And Sterling, of course, was my captain. Would have done a little bit better had I captained Harry Kane, but, you know, you can't win them all. I just couldn't bring myself to captain Harry Kane again, so I didn't. And I don't think I'm centered into the screen properly. That's a bit better. But all green arrows mainly, apart from... Actually, overall it says red, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting green arrows. At least, again, if Fantasy Football Fix is correct, that's what's happening. And as far as my opponent, Bolton Wind Up Orderers, I think I'm probably going to win. He had Rooney, who didn't play. He did have Kane, he didn't captain him. Who did he captain? He captained Rooney, who didn't play. So his vice-captain comes in, which is Young, who could still get some points. Lukaku and Lingard, Silva, Decore. Was Silva playing today? Wow, okay, I have been at work, so I didn't know that. That's surprised me slightly. Azpilicueta, Otamendi, I should be comfortably going through to the next round. So this is a decent cup run for me so far. So yeah, I'm quite happy with myself. I've had a good game week. So let's get to the chat. Let's see how many people are in the chat. We got 23 people in the stream. Let's go through some of these messages. We got Matthew Berry here. What's up, mate? Mukhtar Adam is in here as well. How you doing? Another Hoop says Merry Christmas, JNO. Merry Christmas to you and everybody in the stream. Rahul Game is here. How you doing? Jamal Rice says Harry Kane never leaves your team. There's a reason those of us that have kept him for so long have kept him for so long, and it's because he's capable of game weeks like this. And I still do believe, just because of the pure amount of chances he gets, he is going to be the top scorer this season. That is my opinion. I've got a lot of stick for it over the last couple of game weeks, but he's come good with a hat-trick today. We got fantastic week for Mukhtar Adam. Rahul Game says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Rahul. Thank you so much. Albert Iodine, not think I've seen you in the chat before, says Harry, Harry, Harry with a big smile on his face. Matthew Berry says should be getting 75 by the end of today. Lukaku could still do something for him too. Fingers crossed for you, mate. I've had a blast of a game week so far, so hopefully everything should go well for me as well. Sorry, just messaging the wife. And if I'm going to have a look on Fantasy Football Fix just to see what it's saying has actually happened to me. Jamal Rice is very, very happy. I think a lot of us feel like vindicated with Harry Kane's result today. Gary B got 84 points, but he got rid of Kane. It would have been 100 otherwise. Ouch. Sorry to hear that, Gary B, but while I said I couldn't blame anyone for getting rid of Kane, I couldn't get rid of him myself. I really thought he was going to eventually have a good game week. Unfortunately, it was against Burnley, who I think have been very good defensively. And then, of course, Harry Kane destroys them. Benched Pickford and played Foster. I did something similar. I benched Elliott and played Pope, hoping Pope would get loads of saves. Should have gone with Elliott. Rahul Game says, Merry Christmas to the Flockers. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, I think that should put it in screen. We have the Flock t-shirt. It's finally arrived. I'm not going to lie. The postage took longer than I thought. Florence Sandu says, hey to everyone. Now that Kane scored a hat-trick, Alan Arjadinovic asked the first question. And Serlo and Starling on form. Who do I captain for game week 20? So getting straight to the point. I mean, as far as fixtures-wise, Man City, Newcastle is a nice one. Southampton, though, also can concede a few. Liverpool against Swansea, so everyone has a decent game week 20. If we actually have a look at the stats, defensively in the last 6 game weeks, the most shots conceded on goal have been by Southampton, which would strengthen the case for the likes of Harry Kane. Then Newcastle actually 4th worst, 93 shots conceded, 10 less. And then Swansea on 86, so Swansea actually have conceded the least. As far as shots inside the box though, Newcastle conceded 60, Swansea 59, Southampton 54. So there's a lot more close in the box range efforts against Newcastle and Southampton compared Swansea compared to Southampton. And actual goals conceded, you've got Newcastle with 12, Swansea's 11 and Southampton's 10. So you know what, it's very difficult to pick because they all don't have the greatest defence. So as far as goal threat goes, the teams with the best goal threat. As far as goals scored, Man City have scored the most in the last 6, then Liverpool, then Spurs, 18, 16 and 13. Shots inside again goes to Man City, then Liverpool. Spurs actually below Arsenal for shots inside the box. And big chances scored, Man City scored 12 to Liverpool's 8 and Tottenham got 6. Total attempts, Chelsea actually have the most attempts on goal, but then it is Man City and Arsenal on 121 each, to Chelsea's 124. Liverpool only 98 and Spurs at 96. Inside the box, again, Man City are above Liverpool and Spurs for shots inside. Big chances in total. Liverpool have had only 1 less than Man City, 23 to 22. Spurs with 20. So the really good chances are falling to the 3 teams with the informed players. Shots on target, Man City have 53 compared to Liverpool's 35 and Spurs 35. But that, of course, means shot accuracy. Man City still leading the way there over Tottenham and Liverpool. Liverpool's shot accuracy 35.7, Tottenham's 36.5, Man City's 43.8. But goal conversion goes to Liverpool at 16.3, Man City actually at 14.9 and 13.5 to Spurs. Now, what I would say is Spurs have been disappointing us recently, so one good game doesn't make the likes of Kane, in my eyes, jump above the likes of Sterling and Salah. So, to me, I would still look at Sterling and Salah. But it all depends who you want to take a punt on. It is Christmas. Anything can happen over Christmas. Florence Sandu, Merry Christmas, my friend. I keep drinking that. I meant to down it, I think. Decent week for another hoops as Kane, Sterling and Salah owner. I bet everyone uses triple on Kane now. Very likely, Real DMC, that people will. Captain for Game Week 20, just looked at that. 90 points for someone here. Alan Jason, well done. Craig Manuel in the chat. Hi, JNO in the flock. He's on the red wine. Red wine. And I really shouldn't sing. If Vardy gets another return, I'm out of the cup. Ouch. So, guys, in the flock, unless you really need him to, we've all got to hope that Harry Kane doesn't score. Just for Connor Mullen. Real MC thinks he's going to win his cup game, but it looks close. Josh Vincent, I transferred out Kane and Loftus-Cheek. Josh, it's one of those things. If you transfer someone out, there's always the chance that they do really well. Connor Mullen, 88 for him so far. Should be green arrows, I'd imagine. Jamal Rice should get 111. Jamal Rice, you're a boss. Justin Grierson in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? Merry Christmas to you. Looking at 92 points. Again, another great score. A lot of the flock doing really well of this game week. Craig and Jamal, Merry Christmas all. I know I don't look that Christmassy. The bedroom doesn't look that Christmassy. I apologise. Yeah. I've got no excuses. I don't have a Christmas hat yet. I'll have one on Christmas Day, but yeah, that would be too late. Craig Manuel took a -4 for Otamendi and Sterling, but made KDB captain instead of Sterling. I think I saw you say that already. So, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but KDB wasn't a bad captain choice. It's just the points all fell to Sterling by the looks of it. Jamal, we already know you're doing well, mate. Don't rub it in during Christmas. Hey, to be honest, I would be like bragging if I was doing as well as Jamal Rice. What should we do with Richarlison from Real DMC? Now, I get that there is the urge to get rid of him. He's really not returned. The underlying stats, however, are still there. And as far as Watford's fixtures, I think they are getting slightly better. In the next 5, they have Leicester, Swansea, Man City, Southampton, Leicester. Do I think it could improve? Yes. Do I think it's worth potentially moving to someone like Arnautovic or Lanzini just for the coverage after game week 21? Probably. So, you could get rid of him. There are other options out there, but I probably won't get rid of him until it comes into play that the double game week will be in effect. Real DMC's captain choice: Salah, Sterling, Coutinho and Kane. Think I'll go Kane. That's a good choice. To be honest, for me, you're looking at Liverpool, Man City or Spurs for the next game week. I personally don't know for definite who I'll be going for. Craig Manuel, busy wrapping gifts. I still need to wrap my gifts for my wife. Siraj Karan says, no, United are playing. Don't do this to me again. We were embarrassed last time during a live stream. Apologies, I was going to wait until the end of the game, but because I have work tomorrow, I thought, you know what? It's probably better if I start early, because then I might at least finish earlier. And hopefully, we'll have a decent stream. I know it's probably not best to stream while there's a live game on, because I don't think people watch. Florence Sandu's got his lovely mug on his, is it avatar? Just so you know what he looks like. Florence Sandu with an 80, which is good. Well done, man. Connor Mullin changed from Captain Kane to Captain Sterling. I thought I'd pulled a great move as well. And Man United have scored. Hopefully it's not Lukaku for me, because that will affect my ranking. But we'll see. Apparently it's Mata again. Juan Mata. If you brought in Juan Mata, as well as having the likes of Sterling and Kane, you are laughing this game week. And by the way, I bet that there'll be another goal before 80 minutes. So I'm also quite happy because I've now made a little bit more money. I was going to say, Sterling wasn't that bad of a captain choice. Alan Archudinovic, if Rooney doesn't play, who do I bring in? To be honest, I think Rooney will probably play the next game. From what I understand, the illness isn't a massive illness, but he just was too ill to play that one game. Potential return is the 26th. He may or may not have recovered by then, to be fair. If you can manage without him, I wouldn't see any absolute necessary reason to get rid of him. You could potentially look... There isn't many budget options, really, that are great. Which is why I'd actually try and keep him. Because who is there better than Rooney at the moment in that price range? There isn't really anyone. So, that is my take on it. I'm on 60 currently, did 4 transfers for a -8 on a free fall for the last 6 game weeks. To be honest, if you get above the 60 range after getting a -8, that isn't bad. Florian Sando, I'd be surprised if anyone brought in Mata, to be fair. Martial, someone might have, though. Justin Grierson says, good, I'm 2.2 million in the bank. Ricarlison needs to transfer out, not sure who to bring in. Kane captain for me next game week, he always scores versus Saints. If that's actually true, then that's a good shout if he always scores against the Saints. Real DMC, would you consider Depoitre as a cheap third striker? Considering their fixtures coming up, Depoitre is the Huddersfield one, isn't he? I feel like he is. I could be embarrassing myself right now. But if I go to total goals, he should be somewhere in this list. I'm sure he's scored. Why is he not in this list? He should be. Mooney's in it. There he is. Sorry, he's higher up than I thought. 3 goals in 6 games is not bad for a 5.3 million striker. And their fixture list is Stoke, Burnley, Leicester, West Ham, Stoke. So that's not a bad move. I would definitely consider him. I do like the idea of Quainer though, just because that gives you so much money elsewhere. I'm getting it as a Martial assist, but Silva's return was very surprising. If I'd known Silva was returning, he might have come in for Hazard, and then I'd had a lot of money to play with. Conor Mullin might have Mata, so that would be really good. Or if he gets the 3 bonus points, then yeah, Vardy won't get him. I get you now. Real MC, glad you made the move, mate. It really paid off. Fanta Sway, Premier League. How you doing, my friend? Hazard move didn't work for me this game week. Did you bring Hazard in? That's unfortunate. I took him out and then was very pleased with that Chelsea result. I'm not going to lie. Craig Manuel going to end up on about 70. That is not bad at all, my friend. That's not bad at all. Vic, where am I from? I live in London, or the outer skirts of London. So, you know, I wouldn't say central London. I'm quite far out from London. It takes me an hour to get into central London when I used to work there. So I work in London. I'm not going to be specific about where I work, but I know some people in the flock have actually seen me in person around about where I live. But yeah, it's London. I'm a Londoner. Rahul Games, Silva is toying with me. I had him and he was not scoring. I removed him, he scored, and then I slot him in again and he's again gone quiet. To be honest, he could come back, Rahul. We don't know exactly what it is that meant he left to spend time with his family. Hopefully he will just return back into form, and he was a very important player for City, so I don't imagine he'll continue to be quiet. Conor Mullin says Dunk could have had a hat-trick today. Again, didn't see the games. Unfortunately, I was at work, but you know, I have to get that money. But yeah, can't really comment on that, can I? Because I didn't see it. Josh Vincent, do we get rid of Hazard? Much better options like Coutinho, Pogba, De Bruyne. I would say right now that potentially Chelsea isn't consistent enough. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Hazard can be explosive, and I think Morata could have a good season still. But the fact that Sterling is so on form, the fact that Salah is so on form, the fact that you could bring in Coutinho, you could bring in De Bruyne, you could bring in Silva, Pogba. Again, I don't think he's done anything today that I can note, but I think there's other options out there, cheaper, that are going to be more effective, and then you can improve other areas. So I would say Hazard on his day can perform, so there's no risk in actually having him around, because every now and again he will have a good return. But yeah, I just felt like I didn't need him this game week, and I'm glad I was right. But Vic, don't well, I've answered anyway, Vic. I'm not 100% sure what you said. If you said what I think you said, don't worry about it. I don't mind answering anyway. Someone can... I don't even know what to say to that. You kind of caught me off guard, if I'm honest. But thank you for joining the stream either way. Florence Sandal, I have a feeling average will be around 40ish for Game Week 20. To be honest, Game Week 20 could be one of those where we get a lot of rotation. So, yeah. Tommy Plays is in the chat. How you doing, my friend? It's alright. I understand people have lives. They can't always just come on whenever I'm streaming. I'm not exactly got a set schedule either, do I? So it's difficult for people. I get it. Some streams will really, really take off and some don't. That's the way of it. But I can stream when I can. That's all I can really do. Florence Sandu says Hazard can definitely perform given that Morata will be back. That's definitely a possibility. I still think Hazard's an asset in Fantasy Premier League. I just feel like Sterling and Salah offer better value right now. Daz Dark got 54 points. The Kane captain would have helped you out there, to be honest. Masaka let a lot of us down. Masaka got man of the match. Okay, so he let people down but got man of the match as well. One more thing I like to confess. First time ever I gave captain's armband to a defender in my 4-year FPL career. Trusting Fix algorithm. Otamendi is my captain. There's a reason I never captain defenders. And yes, some game weeks it will work because the big hitters just won't score. But there's just so much more point potential in the midfield and attack. I mean, yeah, it was a risk and it could have paid off. If a lot of rotation happened, it would have paid off. Florence Sander agrees City players bring more value. Yeah, I can't justify. Just like, I mean, I probably could because I could just use the same argument I've been using for Kane for so long. But that's the thing. Hazard is like, in my eyes, he's a player that can go into really good form. And then if you don't have him, it's going to hurt your ranking. But right now, as long as Salah and Sterling and maybe a third midfielder keep doing well for you, and Tom Carroll, by the way, got me some points today, which was a surprise, then yeah, as long as the players you have in his place are also scoring points, it shouldn't hurt your ranking too much. But you know what might happen next game week? Hazard might get a hat-trick, and I won't be as happy as I am this game week. So you never know in FPL. It's a fickle mistress, a very fickle mistress. Isa T, 94 points from this game week without Kane. You think I should bring him in for Aguero? I wouldn't necessarily say you have to bring him in. It's one good game. Just remember, everyone, let's not get too excited. Kane had a brace recently and then disappointed for a couple of game weeks. So I would not necessarily just jump on Kane straight away if you've made plans to not have him. But I'd say definitely after the blank game week might be a good point to bring him in. Ben Mitchell wants replacements for Pope now that the fixtures change. Again, I've said this before. I personally still like Burnley's defence. This one game is a massive dent in my confidence for them. I will admit to that. And Burnley do have tough fixtures. They've got Man United next, Huddersfield, Liverpool, Palace, and then Man United again. So it's not easy for them. However, this gives Pope the potential to get a lot of save points. If I was to look at other players, Huddersfield's goalkeeper could be a good short-term replacement. 5 decent fixtures. You've got... Would I go West Ham now that they've suddenly conceded a lot to a Newcastle side that, to be honest, hasn't scored that often? Man United has scored again, and I just literally, while I was talking, put a bet on that Man United would score the next goal. So again, very, very happy with myself. Or at least that's what my phone has said, but when I've gone in, it hasn't caught up. Apparently Lingard just missed an open goal. I literally got a notification saying Man United scored. Oh, goal disallowed now apparently as well. Damn it. That's a shame. That's a big shame because I'd have won a bit of money if Man United just scored. Anyway, back to your question. Adrian, you could consider, but that double game week comes after a blank and it's got Spurs in it. You could maybe go West Brom, because Burnley have Huddersfield when West Brom have Arsenal, and then other than that it's Everton, West Ham, Brighton, Hove Albion, Everton. But Everton have been capable of scoring quite a few recently. You have... There's not really a standout option, is there? I mean, for me, my next game week, both my goalkeepers have horrible fixtures. I might just stick in the Huddersfield keeper just because I know they've got good fixtures for the rest of the next 5 game weeks. But that's probably who I would look at, just because a lot of teams with good, cheap goalkeepers have a very tough fixture list now. Is Asby to Christensen smart? I mean, clean sheet point-wise, yes. But Asby's more likely, in my eyes, to get assists, so I'd maybe consider keeping Asby. But if you're looking to save money to spend elsewhere to make your team better in the whole, then potentially you'd be looking at that transfer. Gary B, you know what? Part of me agrees with you a lot. I'll be honest, after their 2 games against Arsenal and Chelsea, I was thinking, alright, maybe they just up their game for those fixtures. Then with Stoke, I was starting to lean towards it, but I didn't rush into it. Now I'm worried again that it was just a good period of form. But we shall see. But I'm now no longer suggesting Ogbonna or Masaka. Real DMC, if you've got plans for that cash, then do it. If you don't have plans for it, then I would suggest don't. But yeah, that was just common sense, to be fair. So apologies for that. That wasn't the best comment I've ever made. ICT asks, upgrade Aguero to Kane or Richarlison to Pogba. I personally don't like the fact that Aguero is rotation risk. So I would say Kane. Richarlison to Pogba also is a good move though. But for me, I'm not giving up on Richarlison yet. Apparently Leicester have had a player sent off. So it's looking good for Man United. Had Tom Carroll and RLC starting today, I was laughing. To be honest, Tom Carroll's actually produced points recently. I was about to get rid of him. He's dropped in price as well, so he's losing me money. But he's actually returned recently, which is nice. Ben Mitchell asked, Coutinho or Hazard? I would say Coutinho, just because I think at the moment it looks to me like Coutinho will do as well, if not better, than Hazard and is cheaper. My only concern, and the reason I don't have Coutinho, is because I worry he's going to move in January, and then that's a transfer I'm going to have to make, which I may need that transfer for something else. Florence Sanders says Burnley made a lot of defensive mistakes today, strangely enough. That could have just been partly because of a good performance by Spurs. Again, I haven't seen the game, but every now and again you're not going to have the best performance, so I would give them a pass for one bad performance. There's a reason I only put Pope and not me as well in. Florence Sanders says Fabianski looks good and Swansea might play a bit better. True, Fabianski is a decent keeper, has always been there or thereabouts as far as a keeper goes in FPL. True, I also agree, Azpilicueta, when Morata is on, is more likely to get the assist points. So right now, because Morata, although I think Morata will be back from Boxing Day, so I'm looking forward to Boxing Day football. It's been a long time since I've had Boxing Day off. Salah captain a risk due to rotation? Yes, but I'd say everyone, apart from maybe Harry Kane, is a risk due to rotation. So, but if Salah does play, and then again, of course, when he did get rested, he still went and scored 2 goals the last time he got rested. Thomas McCarthy is out of the cup and hates FPL. I'm really, really sorry, Thomas. I know this game can be like at times just like, why do I put myself through it? But I hope you have a great Christmas, and remember, there is always stuff more important than FPL. I know I often go like, if you're going to play FPL, play it properly. But it's the same with, like, say, FIFA or Football Manager. Play it properly. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly. But, you know, it is going to be times when you're just not good. Like, I'm meant to know what I'm doing. And I still have periods where people probably watch... If they come to my channel new and they look at my channel and look at my team and look at my rank, at certain times in every season, they probably looked at it and thought, who is this guy? Why has he got so many subscribers? He doesn't know what he's doing. Keep working at it. You will get better. You will learn the game more and more, and you will get better. Okay, Rahul Game. I will tell you the reasoning, because was it you on Twitter that also asked, or was it Siraj, or was it... I think someone asked on Twitter my reasoning behind getting rid of Hazard. The main reason, I'm not going to lie, was just to get Sterling in. Because looking at my team, if I go to my team, I know it's on your screen, but it's on a different web page for me. I was looking at my team, and I was thinking, I need Sterling, because I want to captain him. I think he's the best captain choice. I think he's going to be a very popular captain choice. I need him in my side. Son was not a straight transfer for Sterling. If he was, I'd have probably kept Hazard. I needed to save some money somewhere or get rid of Hazard for Sterling. Now, I could have just done that move and it would have still been beneficial to me. Son didn't do anything though, but I wouldn't have taken a -4. The reasoning I've gone for this change is, one, if we look at the top scoring midfielders, and this isn't always the best way to make these decisions, because Hazard, I do think, had a period where he wasn't playing those first 3 games, and of course a team can go in and out of form, but top scoring players, Salah, Sterling, De Bruyne, David Silva. Then you've got Eriksen and Mahrez and Sane, again another Man City midfielder. Then you have Grosh, Coutinho. Then you have Richarlison, and then you have Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard is the most expensive out of all of those midfielders. So every single midfielder above him who scored more points than him, he's more expensive than. De Bruyne isn't, in my eyes, a downgrade, purely because De Bruyne is in a Man City side that are scoring freely at times. So I wanted Sterling in. I already had Salah. There was nothing in my eyes that would hurt my team bringing in De Bruyne for Hazard. That now gives me cash to bring in Sterling. And now, if I do downgrade, say, because I'm planning to beef up my midfield is the plan, which would mean getting Carroll out and bringing someone else in, maybe a West Ham player. To do that, Kane would go, but I don't want to get rid of Kane now, of course. I was planning to get rid of Kane and then bring him back in. I could downgrade Firmino, but he's performing well. So if I downgrade Abraham, I could potentially get another 0.7 million depending on who I pick. And then 0.7 million to Carroll, I could look at a £5 million midfielder, but that isn't loads. If I went to Quainer, 4.5, that gives me 1.3, gives me 1.5 on top of Carroll. That gives me 4.8, that gives me 5.8 million. And then I could look at players like Choupo-Moting, Aaron Moy. Wouldn't allow me to upgrade to a West Ham player, which would be slightly annoying. But of course, depending on what I do with Richarlison, then I might have a little bit more cash to spend. Defensively, I'm quite happy with that defence. Norton maybe could be changed. Monreal, now that he's a risk of not playing, could be my next transfer. I do also want to change keeper. Now, I could change Pope, but I like Nick Pope. But also, if I just look at underlying stats, I know I'm going into this question for quite a while. If I look at midfielders, in the last 6 game weeks, as far as goals scored, Hazard has scored 2 in the last 6 game weeks. Salah scored 5, Sterling scored 4. To me, getting those to win was important. Lingard at 6 million has scored 4. Silva has scored 4. Coutinho scored 3. Arnautovic has scored 3. De Bruyne scored 3. Son, Özil, Mahrez, So there's plenty of people scored more. As far as attempts on goal, Salah, Sanchez, Sterling, Coutinho, Richarlison, Arnautovic and De Bruyne. Oh, sorry, Arnautovic and De Bruyne have had the same amount as Hazard. But Richarlison, Coutinho, Sterling, Sanchez and Salah have had more. Inside the box, Salah, Richarlison, Sterling and Sanchez have had more. And the main reason behind the De Bruyne transfer was to get Sterling in. Then as far as big chances, you've got Salah with more, Sterling with more, Mane with more, Silva with more, Son, Lingard all had more big chances than Hazard. Shots on target, Hazard is actually joint second with Salah. But De Bruyne has one more shot on target. So, in my eyes, goal threat wise, De Bruyne was better right now anyway than Hazard, in a side that were more likely to do big damage in the near future. And then we can go to distribution as well, if it would load up. So we have chances created. De Bruyne is top with Özil on 21 each. Sanchez, Willian, Eriksen, Fabregas, Townsend, Goodmanson, Coutinho, Grosh, Mahrez, Salah are all higher than Hazard. Big chances created. De Bruyne, Townsend, Coutinho, Son, Ramsey, Grosh, Salah, Lanzini, Bernardo Silva, Tadic and Martial all higher than Hazard. In fact, there's a lot higher than Hazard. Thomas Ince has had more big chances created. Eric Lamela has had more big chances created. And total assists, again, Hazard isn't that high up. Hazard has had, if I can find him, it would help if I could find him quickly. He's had one. Whereas Coutinho, Lanzini, Bernardo Silva, Ramsey, De Bruyne have had more. Raheem Sterling's had more assists. Ali, Pogba. Pogba, who's played 2 games in the last 6, has more assists. So, everything I was looking at did not give me a reason to keep Eden Hazard. And I know I went out for that question a long time, but it was a good question, and because Hazard is very, very capable. I'm not going to lie, Hazard could, next game week, go on an absolute blinder. But that is my reasoning, Rahul Game. Okay, another Hoops asks, what would I go for out of Rooney and Grosh out for RLC and Firmino? Or Daniels and Grosh out for Christensen and Ruben Loftus-Cheek? For me, Firmino has just done really well for me. As far as Liverpool coverage goes, I know all the eyes are on Salah and Coutinho, but Firmino has done wonders for me since I brought him in. So that's the one I would probably go for. You're 10k overall and got 88 points this week. Where do you think I'll be tonight? Apparently Rashford's now Mr. Sitter. Can someone tell Siraj to tell his Man United side to score so I get some more money? If I look at the top average in the top 10k or the top 1,000 players, which would be a good indicator to how well 88 points could do for you. Oh wow, I'm not going to be top 100k by the looks of this, which is annoying. What Man United player's done well enough to knock me out of that? Top 1,000 apparently are looking at 73 points. So 88 is 15 points above the top 1,000 players. So you'd see a rise, but I don't think it would be a massive rise because I think the majority of players in the top 10k are going to have similar-ish teams. So I'd imagine you would maybe get to 8k. My guess would be 8k. Isa T wants to get Kane in for next game week and keep him until the double game week. My only concern for him is to get his 5th yellow card, then he'll be suspended for one of the double game weeks. Aguero will probably be rested next game week. That is a big issue. But now I'm going to say this, and this might even jinx it, but Harry Kane is one of those players that generally doesn't... In fact, I'm not going to say this. I have no historical records to say this. Kane could get a blank on the double game week, but not having him is too risky in my eyes. So that is why I will definitely have him, and I will probably captain him. If I would triple captain him, that's going to be really difficult, because who knows what could be in the future with a triple captain. Florence Sandu, you have to consider your the blank in Game Week 21. That is true. Everyone should remember, for this double game week, Spurs are blanking the week before. For me, I may very well play 4-5-1. If I can get my midfield strong enough, by that time, I will just have Kane on my bench. The Chrissy95 wants to know, who did I captain? I captained Sterling, and he did decent. He did decent. He got 22 points. I don't think he's been given the bonus points yet. I feel like... Have bonus points been given out? Because Harry Kane should have got bonus points, surely. I'm not sure bonus points have been given out yet. So I think Sterling will get bonus points. But we shall see. Fantasy Football Fix is saying I should have 92 points. At the moment I've got 83. So we'll see what happens. But I think I'm just outside the top 100k. But big improvement. I've gone up about 60k places. Isa T says Morata will score a brace next game week. What does go in his favour is he has had a nice rest and will have a nice Christmas and could potentially do very well. I doubt there's any sensible way for me to get Morata in. That's my problem. False 9 is looking at Morata to Calvert-Lewin and Ashley Young to Sterling. Definitely get Sterling in. Sterling right now, to me, is only second to Mohamed Salah. Who am I going to captain for Game Week 20? It could be Kane, just for safety that he will play. I do personally like Salah and Sterling better if I knew they were definitely going to play, but I don't know that. So, to be honest, I don't think I could bring myself to captain Kane again just yet. I need a few more performances in a row, a bit more consistency, then I may do it. So I may go Sterling or Salah and then put Kane as vice. But knowing my luck, Sterling and Salah will make a sub-appearance or something. Is Monreal injured? He has got a knock, as far as I can tell. We have no return date currently being assessed. Status is 25%, so it looks like it. So that might be my transfer. We got TP is in the house. I've just seen him a bit further down. Let's have a look at Austin. What are they saying about Austin? Thigh injury, no return date, 25%. So it looks like he could be out. I would sell Austin, depending on how bad your defence is. Wow, I wish I could watch the games more. One day, when I'm a big YouTuber, hopefully I will be able to watch all these games, if that ever happens, because you guys talk about it because you've seen the games. I didn't see any of them because I was at work. But anyway, that would be the dream, if I could just have like a football station. Like, just go to the wife, sorry, Saturday, Sunday are my big work days, and then just sit and watch football. Florence Sanu, JNO, but Hazard was on the high up until the switch in tactics after Morata's injury. True, I'm completely in the same boat as you. Hazard looked great with Morata. Didn't when Morata was out for a bit, but at the same time, Sterling looked great whilst Hazard looked great. And Sterling is better value for money. He is. There's no denying that. Sterling is a lot cheaper and is he second? I think he's second from memory. We literally just looked at it. He's the second highest scoring midfielder in the game after Salah. Why wouldn't you jump on that? I needed Salah. Sorry, I do need Salah as well, but I needed Sterling. I'd made the choice. Sterling needed to come into my side. If I took too much longer, I'm just losing points to other people. So it had to be done, and it was just the best way to bring him in. The only way I could bring him in without getting rid of Salah, which wasn't happening, is by getting rid of Hazard. So he had to go. In my eyes, getting Sterling in was more important than keeping Hazard. Hazard may come back in at some point, but I needed Sterling this game week. And that's how I felt. I felt I have to get Sterling in. How do I do it? Ben Mitchell, De Bruyne or Hazard? I think I've already answered that. I think, to me, when Morata comes back, if I see a return to form for Hazard and Morata, I may just go Morata because he's cheaper. And I think if they both gel that well together, then the points may be similar. De Bruyne for me right now is part of a Man City side that is that good that you need the Man City coverage. I had 3 Spurs players thinking... Sorry, got a tweet saying Man United are hopeless in the final third. But anyway, for me, you need Man City coverage, and the striker position is too complicated, and Leicester have scored. Wow. Well, I've lost that bet anyway then. But I'm still up for the week. But wow. I don't know who scored for Leicester. Jamie Vardy. No, Jamie Vardy or Harry Maguire. So anyone with Harry Maguire, you should be very happy right now. But yeah, for me, with Silva coming back, I may go Silva. But yeah, I needed Sterling. And De Bruyne facilitates that more because he's cheaper than Hazard. Finally, TP, I did well. It's about time I had a game week like this. Richarlison to Lingard. I'm almost at that stage where Lingard would be a shout. I'm worried he's still rotation risk. But he played while Pogba played. And that was important to me. Because I knew Pogba, as soon as Pogba comes back, he's going to play, isn't he? And then who do you play around Pogba? Do you play Martial, Rashford, Mata, Mkhitaryan? But at 6 million, he has started since game week 14. That is almost enough for me to go, you know what? That saves me 0.4 on Richarlison. So, yeah. Lingard, I would say, is a good bet right now. Because even if he doesn't always play, that return, 12, 15, 10, 5, fair enough. Nothing really of major, an assist here, an assist there. But still, there's points there. And he's only 6 million. So he now looks like a favoured player. And to be honest, this is great for him for the World Cup. Because right now, if he continues to play like he is, would you take him to the World Cup? I would. And this is coming from someone that before Game Week 14 was not a Lingard fan at all. I thought he was overrated. But Lingard has looked good. Maybe if Siraj joins the chat now, Siraj can give his opinion on Lingard. But those returns are nice. Another hoop says it's risky to triple captain Kane with 2 games in 3 days. that's fine, but if you're triple captain in any double game week, there's usually only 3 days between fixtures. That's not an unusual amount of time in a double game week. You won't get a double game week where there's more rest period. False 9 says Sterling set for 2 bonus points. TP says he was in Cheshire today to watch Hereford beat Cheshire in the last minute. Beat Dagenham in the FA Trophy so they could get to Wembley, and if they win their games in hand, they'll win the league. So you're going Wembley, are you? Mate, trust me, Wembley experience, especially when you're a small club. I've been there for AFC when we won the League 2 playoff, sorry. Absolutely massive. Thomas McCarthy is drinking a Hara's Barrel Age Series. That sounds tasty. I'm just drinking normal Pilsner. Nothing special. Probably drinking more of it than I should, considering it's meant to be for Christmas. So I might need to pop in and buy some more beer tomorrow. I am going to look at potential price rises, because I'm getting a lot of notifications on price rises. Thomas McCarthy with the promo. Thank you very much, my friend. TP's team, De Gea. De Gea didn't do well today, did he? Me, Otamendi. Otamendi did decent. Christensen, Richarlison, Gross, Shaqiri, Salah, Moy. Your midfield doesn't look strong enough, especially in a game week like this game week. I'm imagining, and this is a guess, I'm imagining you didn't do that well this game week. Austin, Lukaku, Pope, Morata, Cedric, Daniels. Who to transfer out? I have 1.4 in the bank. My strategy right now is to get 5 midfielders that I like in my side, because to me it's become very clear that you don't need 3 strikers at the moment. You don't need 3 strikers, because at the moment who is actually really performing? Fair enough, Aguero and Kane scored today, but right now the value is in Sterling and Salah. It could change. It could change next game week. But if it doesn't and you don't make the move, you're just going to keep falling in the ranking. I would suggest that everyone that watches me, if there's... I will never say I'm going to be 100% right. I would never say that, because that is... If any FPL manager ever says that to you, they're talking rubbish. I was going to swear there. But if I had to suggest to you what move to make, it would be make sure you get the value midfielders right now. Because if this trend continues and you haven't made that move, you are going to drop significantly. If you have made the move and it doesn't work out, enough people would have made the move that whilst you would still probably drop in ranking, it would not be the same as if this still continues and you don't have players like Sterling and Salah. Coutinho is also one of them. He's good value for money right now. Mahrez still getting points, even though I don't like his underlying stats. So Mahrez is still an option. But just right now, make sure you have some of the really good value options from midfield. Even if that means doubling up, do it. I don't like doubling up generally as a rule, but do it. If you still don't have Salah in your side, if you put a team up on that chat that does not have Salah in it, the very first transfer I suggest you make is Salah. If you put a side up that doesn't have Sterling in it, very first transfer I suggest you do is put Sterling in it. So TP, put Sterling in that side. If it means getting rid of making 2 moves, then do it. Lukaku and Morata, you don't need both right now, because the premium price strikers are taking up your budget and they're not performing. And I've done so much better when I relegated one of my strike positions to a Firmino, because I've now got more money to spend elsewhere. So much so that I'm considering relegating Abraham to a cheaper one, because 1, Abraham isn't playing that often, but 2, the money in midfield. If we look at just this game week, if I'd had another premium striker, potentially I could have still had Salah and Sterling. Potentially. But would I have a 5.7 and a 6 million defender? Fair enough, I didn't play Monreal because I thought that game would be high scoring, and I was right. But, for instance, if you don't have 2 premium price strikers, you could bring in a De Gea. 101 points. If we go to all players. If you don't have 2 premium price strikers, you could bring in an Alonso, an Azpilicueta, a Valencia. Otamendi is up there at a nice cheaper price, but then it's a big drop of 8 to Monreal. Salah, if you'd got him early enough, is not 10 million. If I sold him, he's at 9.5, I believe, in price. But when he first started, he was 9 million. Because I only get half of the transfer increase, though. For me, he's 9.5 in value. Sterling. De Bruyne, though, is doing better than any striker. Kane, if he didn't have this recent game week, De Bruyne would be a lot better than any striker. David Silva is better than Aguero right now. Eriksen is better than anyone other than his teammate Harry Kane. Mahrez is just below Aguero, but better than Lukaku. Firmino, yes, he's not as good as some of these options here, midfielders, but he's 8.7 million. Rooney, 9.1, 7.6. Vardy is an option because just you're saving money, which enables you to take advantage of these other players. And this is probably one of the only times that I can remember, and don't get me wrong, I've only really played since 2014, but usually there's 1 or 2 that are around the same as these top midfielders, and then these defenders usually are not beating strikers. But Alonso is on the same points as Lukaku. Look at the price difference. That price difference is crazy. 5.9 million De Gea, probably still easily worth it because 101 is better than everyone but Harry Kane. And did I think, I'll be honest, a lot of you would have seen my videos during pre-season. I did not call this. I'm not going to say I'm some sort of guru. I did not see this happening at all. But you need to be able to adapt. And that's why I don't like long-term plans, because you're kind of committing to a certain strategy and not being adaptable. So, sorry, TP, I went on a rant then. De Gea, good, keep him. Me, good. Otamendi, good. Christensen, good. Richarlison maybe needs to change. Grosh maybe needs to change. Shaqiri, again, maybe needs to change. But I would only change them for more expensive in-form midfielders. Moya I would keep. Austin needs to go. And I would say you need to decide. And me personally, I'd go Morata. But you need to decide which one of those 2 strikers is going to do better for you. Is it going to be Lukaku or is it going to be Morata? You'd save significantly more if you downgrade Lukaku to a Firmino or someone in that bracket like a Vardy, which would allow you to boost up your midfield. And then potentially your defence is decent, but you can maybe save some money on a Cedric as well, a little bit of money on a Cedric. You've also got 1.4 in the bank, which would also help. So definitely get Sterling in. That would be my next port of call. He may stop performing as well as he is, but right now, if he keeps performing this way, it just hurts you not to have him. Rahul Game thinks Sterling won't play Game Week 20. You could be 100% spot on, Rahul Game, but long term, why wouldn't you have Sterling in your side? If Sterling isn't playing next game week, you are not alone in not having him play for you, because he's owned by 27.9% of players. It's the same as if Salah doesn't play. Don't worry, almost 60% of players will have the exact same issue as you. If the ownership is high enough, the effect them not playing has on you is smaller than if you have, say, a Hazard, who is a good differential. 14.3 is still really good for someone of Hazard's quality, because if he does score, he can score big. But if your player is high owned, like Harry Kane's still almost 40%, and he doesn't play, a lot of people have that same issue, so it's fine. And that's why a lot of people who have the beefed up defence as well are doing decent during these congested fixtures, is because certain defenders won't get rotated. Who are Man City going to play other than Otamendi right now? Alonso, do they have a left back anywhere near as good as Alonso? De Gea is going to play. Fair enough. He didn't do great today, but he's going to play. So anyway, that should have allowed a lot more questions because I ranted for a bit then. Ilyas Hussain, hey JNO, how the flock are you? I'm flocking good, mate. If I can get that in there. I love this. I love this design. TP Football Analysis, if I become a big YouTuber, I will definitely do a series where I go to games at every stadium. Definitely, 100%. That is something I would absolutely love to do. TP wishing us all a Merry Christmas. Can we get some Christmas trees in the chat? Just for it's Christmas. I know I've got work tomorrow, but it's Christmas. What's the game week average? If I look on, this is an estimate, but I'm going to look on Fantasy Football Fix because it's going to take bonus points into account. The normal average is... Wow, did I start at 9 o'clock? Almost 9 o'clock. I thought I started earlier than that. I'm glad I didn't wait for the Man United game to end. Okay, my phone's decided not to work very well, but I'll get back to you, Tom. Actually, it's come up. FPL average is 60. Top 1,000 around 73. So... Conor Mullin thinks he's dropped 2k because of Maguire. Potentially. Is he that high owned though? Then again, this won't show me how high owned he is by the top managers though. .2, but I reckon his ownership amongst the top managers is probably quite high. And to be honest, at 5.3, apart from Ward, kind of up there as far as a cheap option. Fire Pig George, yeah, boy. Don't know. Welcome to the stream. Very nice way to introduce yourself to us all. 82 points for Ilyas. Well done, my friend. Thomas McCarthy thinks he's in the top 5.5 million. I hope so. Conor Mullin thinks he's in the next round of the Cup. Thomas McCarthy, 30 points. I did go through your team, didn't I, before? But I would say to you now, your main purpose is to beef up your midfield. Beef up your midfield. To be honest, I'm really worried City are running away with this league now because it's getting silly. United have started to drop off. There's no team in enough form to compete with City right now. Desiree Charija is in the house. TP Football Now says, all my mates are in FPL League as me, forget to change team or something, get tons of points. You captain Lukaku, my two friends missed a deadline, they captained Kane and Firmino. TP, you're right. I have no idea. That could be wrong. His screenshot could be wrong. Because I could be seeing something that hasn't happened. But, yeah. Why Young? I have no idea. Best striker right now, Wayne Rooney. Value for money wise, Wayne Rooney is your best striker. If we look at attempts on goal, Rooney's only got 11. But his shot accuracy is at 72.7. Which means he's not taking stupid shots, and his goal conversion is at 54.5. He's on penalties and he's 7.6 million. Other than him, I mean, Rondon has suddenly hit some decent form, but as underlying stats wise anyway. However, 1 goal out of 6 isn't great. There is honestly no striker right now, and that includes Kane, that I have 100% faith in. But Firmino has scored 4, and he has got assists. He's got the potential to assist because Liverpool have players around him that can score. So I would actually say, and to be honest, his pure goal threat would not be anywhere near enough for me to suggest this. But the players around him are scoring enough that I would actually suggest Firmino. And it goes against everything I'd usually suggest, because I would say even now, I don't have 100% faith in Firmino. His attacking threat is not as high as other people. He's managed to convert a lot of his chances recently, but he does go through cold periods. But because he's got Salah and Coutinho around him, his potential for assists, and Mane when he comes back or hits form, or I don't know what's happened to Mane, I don't see him as much. That Liverpool side, it's a similar thing to the Man City team. Like, even if you're not got the best goal threat, there's so many chances of you assisting someone that potentially that's your best bet. TP Football Lads, Herod got to Wembley and lost 4-1 to Morpeth last year. We beat the team second in the conference. Did you go to Wembley last year, TP? Hazard out, Kane in for double game with Chelsea taking on Arsenal. Potentially, but again, Chelsea-Arsenal, big games can always be bore draws or big scoring games, or they can just be small scoring games. They're so unpredictable. I hate big games. I will never take a player out because of a big game, but I would never captain anyone in that bigger game. I think I just kind of answered that, TP. Firmino, for me right now, is the striker that is most likely to get points. I'm getting congested again. There's something about this room, especially when I'm talking lots, and with all the cameras and everything on me. I probably couldn't be a presenter, which is a shame. Although I doubt they sit in front of a camera for this long. They get breaks, don't they? I need to drop Ramsey out for too long. Might pick up Moy. Moy's a decent shout for the short term, so I wouldn't say no to that. TP's going to get 53 points, including bonuses. I would say so. You need the big scoring midfielders because they're the ones getting all the points right now. So yes, Thomas McCarthy agrees. Definitely. If you take nothing from this stream but this, beef up your midfield right now. Even if it does go the other way, just beef up your midfield now, because if you don't, and the trend continues, you are just allowing yourself to fall behind. And I don't want that for anyone. Like, just do what you can right now to at least kind of be around the average so you don't drop anymore if you are dropping. And if you have been doing well, take advantage. I've been doing well with playing 2 or 3 strikers, but I could have probably done even better if I'd taken advantage of what I've been seeing other people do a lot sooner. Sorry, I'm just tweeting out quickly. So, next question. Will Firmino get rest against Swansea at home? Maybe. The issue here is how many of his players can he rest? Is he going to rest Salah? Is he going to rest Firmino? Is he going to rest Coutinho? If he rests all 3 of them, that's a bit much. So, someone's going to play. Who knows? I can't predict the future, Josh. But in the long term, I think these players are good for my team. And I think if they don't play, a lot of people will have the same issue. Desiree Chirija has David De Gea, Gomez, Otamendi, Smalling, Asby, Cabaselli, Brad Smith, Martial, Sterling, Silva, Salah, Decore, Lewin, Kane, Ngoy. I would say potentially Martial to Lingard. You could potentially look, because I don't know how much money you've got in the bank, but looking at that side, I feel like you have more money in the bank. So you could potentially look to bring in Coutinho. You could potentially look to bring in another good defender. But I wouldn't say you need another good defender. I'd say Martial is the one there that really shouts out to me. And Decore, if you can upgrade him. But Decore keeps proving me wrong. I keep saying he's going to stop scoring, and he keeps scoring. So, but for me, Martial is not the one in that Man United side right now. Josh Vincent, you're definitely right. But usually, someone out of the 3 players I just mentioned plays. Now, if Coutinho's the only one that plays on Boxing Day, then I'm going to be like, ah, damn it. And I'm probably going to have a bad game week. But I'm not going to change my whole side for one game week. I think that's something that people need to realise is this, again, is a 38 game week game. Yes, there's going to be weeks where a lot of your players suddenly don't play and you're like, what? You have a really bad game week and you're like, rotation. Can't risk this rotation risk. If they are not being rotated when there's weeks between fixtures, then don't worry too much, because even I took Sterling out of my side. Let's see if I can actually figure out when I took him out. I took Sterling out of my side. Minutes played. I feel like it was here. I brought him in here, and I was like, Sterling looks nailed on. He's started the last 4 games. He got dropped, played 29 minutes there. I said, you know what? Too much of a rotation risk. Sane is the way to go. I took Sterling out, brought in Pogba. Yeah, it's around here, because I brought in Pogba for Sterling. And this is where he got that red. In the Arsenal... No, this is Man City, though. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong fixtures, getting confused. Anyway, it was somewhere around here. Since then, Sterling has played and started since game week 11. And I've missed out on 5 points, 13 points, 9 points, 2, 2, 9. And then I missed out on this. And I said to myself, look, even if he gets rested for 2 game weeks, there was no need for me to take him out. I panicked because of rotation. Sterling, Salah, De Bruyne, Richarlison, Firmino, they could get rotated. But if they're returning regularly, it's better for me to miss out on 1 game week with them, but still have them for the long term, because I made the move and then missed out on so many points. So yes, you're right, they could be rotated. It could definitely happen. I could have a terrible, terrible game week 20. But worrying too much about one rest game hurt me in the long term. Florence Sandy, my bench looks miserable right now. How do I go about Monreal and Austin? I mean, Monreal isn't too hard to change because there's plenty of options under Monreal's price. And to be honest, Austin, to just get someone cheap, which allows you to boost up your midfield. That's how I'd approach it. Like, your midfield could be really good already, but then boost up your defence, because the points aren't in the striker positions this season at the moment. On a Rebel got 80 points and captained a bad captain choice, KDB. So well done on a Rebel, definitely. Mukhtar Mawia. Hopefully I said that right. Hi bro, I have Salah, Hazard, Sterling, Shaqiri, Richarlison in the mid. I want to change Shaqiri and Richarlison. Who you suggest? In that price range right now, you could look at West Ham. They still scored goals. So attacking wise, West Ham still look like a decent option. I mean, I personally still... And I have a bad tendency for this. And a lot of this game is knowing what your bad tendencies are. But I keep players because, in my eyes, a lot of people start to panic but he hasn't returned for a while since Gameweek. He returned in the Palace game, but there's been a while. But at his price, I don't expect. Like, this period here was very, very good. For his price, it was incredible. If I look at the fixtures, do the fixtures make me think they could return to their form? The fixtures have Watford against Leicester, Swansea, Man City, Southampton, Leicester. Leicester concede goals. Swansea don't have a great defence. Southampton don't, and then Leicester again concede goals. The Man City game is, of course, a worry. I would potentially keep him just because I'm like, it could turn around. He's still getting a lot of shots. Maybe not taking as many as he should, but he's still getting a lot of shots. As far as Southampton, Tottenham, Man United, Palace, Watford, Tottenham. Looking at the wrong team completely, sorry. I'm looking for Brighton, aren't I? Where are Brighton? Chelsea, Newcastle, Bournemouth, West Brom, Chelsea. Again, Grosh could get points in those games in the middle of those Chelsea fixtures. Is there anyone that stands out around those players? We've got midfielders up already. In that price bracket, you're not going to really have anyone around that. Again, Shaqiri has stopped performing. I still don't like Decore, but he would save you money, which you could upgrade elsewhere. Lingard is the one that is currently in form, 6 million. Maybe you'd change one of them to Lingard. Sermon, I've suggested before. Moy has the fixtures. So I'll look at Moy, Sermon and Lingard. I mean, Matt has played really well today. Do I think that will continue? Not necessarily. So I would potentially go Lingard, Sermon or Moy. And that would give you money to spend elsewhere. Hussein Shalki, how are you doing, my friend? Craig Manuel with the Christmas trees. Thank you very much. Siraj says I'm still live. Pissed. Are you saying I'm pissed or you're pissed? I'm assuming you're saying you're pissed. Yeah. Pissed AF. Yeah. I put a bet that Man United would score the next goal as well, so I'm a bit disappointed. At 2-1, I bet Man United would score again, and they didn't. My points this game week. Right now, let's refresh it just to see if anything's been updated. Right now, I'm on 83, but I think that's without bonus points. I think I'm scheduled to be on 92, but then I do take a -4, which would put me on 88. Hussein says Merry Christmas. Siraj says Man United had 4 one-on-one chances. Literally what I saw on Twitter was Man United are terrible in the final third. That's the kind of game that will lose you the season, because Man City went and won their easy fixture. No offence, Leicester in my eyes are not as easy a fixture as Bournemouth, but you needed to win that game. You needed to, because that's just giving them an extra 3 points. Jeff Holt is in the chat. How you doing, my friend? TP. Rooney is a risk because he was ill for this game, so he may be ill for the 26th because there's not a long rest period. Maybe if you wait a bit and see if you can hear if Rooney is going to play, then that would work out, I think. But don't rush it. Sterling for KDB? Yes. I think Sterling has just shown that, especially if I look at his heat map, if I can bring up his heat map. His heat map, in fact, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do this that much, but if I try and... I'm trying to... Okay. Let's see if this works. Nope, this isn't working right now. I'm trying to do this live, so there we go. That's his heat map. That heat map to me looks like a very attacking player who's going to be in the box when stuff is happening. That's Raheem Sterling there. If we compare him to Kevin De Bruyne, I do need to talk to them and see if they'll let me use their website in stream, because I think that would be good for you to see what I'm seeing. But if we compare him to De Bruyne's heat map, I mean, De Bruyne's heat map isn't terrible, but you can clearly see that he's likely to be in there more often. Now, stats summary wise, De Bruyne is the better choice, but if we look at the actual things that are happening, 4 goals, 3 goals, assists, 3 to 3. I feel like just because he's always there or thereabouts, he gets involved a lot. So I do like him as an option, and I think he'll probably score more FPL points. I don't think he's a better player. I think Kevin De Bruyne is the better player, but I think he'll score more points than Kevin De Bruyne. Another Hoops, good luck to you. Have a great Christmas, mate. Have a great Game Week 20. Look forward to seeing you in the next stream. Thank you so much for joining the stream, and thank you for the support. TP, glad you had good seats. Siraj says he'll take Özil, thinks Sterling will get benched. To be honest, Özil has looked great. You know what I'm like. I don't make the move that early. Florin, if Mbappe can do it, surely our lads no less. No offence, in my eyes, Mbappe is a lot better than a lot of your youngsters. Maybe not Martial. Martial and Rashford, to be honest. But I feel like Mbappe is given more game time, so he's going to advance himself quicker. I feel like the issue at Man United is you have so many good youngsters that that's kind of affecting each one's personal growth. Now, don't get me wrong, I personally really hate Chelsea's approach to youth football. They've had so many good youth players and kind of wasted them and loaned them out and loaned them out and loaned them out, and then not giving them a chance in the side. But the actual model of loaning them out so they get first team football and first team knowledge is a good one. Whilst it may not seem like a great idea, imagine you, like Mourinho, made the choice and went, okay, I have faith in all of these players, but I think right now Martial is the one that's ready. And you loaned out Rashford and Lingard. Now, yes, you wouldn't have Rashford and Lingard if you got injuries. So maybe you only loan one of them out, but you could loan 2 of them out. Imagine Rashford and Lingard went either abroad or stayed in England, had really good seasons. You can bring them back, then give them a chance. The problem Chelsea's model has is they'd do that, and then they wouldn't give the player a chance. Kevin De Bruyne was one, went out on loan a lot, did really well, never got the chance. Look at him now. You've got Salah, brought in, never really given a chance. You've got youngsters like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, never really given a chance yet. Fair play, he could be in the future, but like Lukaku, he got loaned out to Everton in the Premier League. He did, and West Brom. He did well in the Premier League. For some strange reason, never got the chance. So, I personally think Man United don't take advantage of loans enough. Why has Lingard not been on a high-profile loan? Why has Rashford or Martial not been on a high-profile loan? They could easily get a high-profile loan move. Okay, Rahul Game. What about Gundogan? This busy period, Ricarlson a good punt. Now Silva's back, I wouldn't risk it. I didn't think Silva would come back this quick, Rahul, but as he has, I wouldn't risk it. Am I falling behind the chat? There's not even that many of you. Ah, Jeff Holt's sipping on a 12-year-old malt whiskey. I'm jealous. I should have some whiskey in a couple of days. Siraj thinks Martial should be benched after so many mistakes today. Siraj still saying Özil's looked really good. TP says Grosh, Moira, Carlson to Lingard. I would take the risk because he's just, at his price, he's still really returning well. And I know we just talked about how Man United youngsters didn't do well today, but Lingard's done really well overall. So I'd potentially take the risk because he's started a lot. Do I sell Loftus-Cheek for Xhaka? Arsenal have good fixtures to the end of the season. To me, Xhaka is one of those players that every now and again Tintas gets returns, but he's not going to do it regularly. And as soon as he does get returns, everyone's like, oh, Xhaka's a really good way into the midfield. I wouldn't do it. Siraj, Rashford, one big mistake, Martial, too many. I think Ox will start in place of Mane, and Firmino will be rested and replaced with Solanke. False 9 in that, you never said Salah, so I'm hoping Salah will start. "38 game weeks to be under the average." Siraj thinks he's also going to be under the average. And he has KDB, Hazard and Richarlison. A couple of weeks ago, that would have looked like a great midfield, mate. Jeff Holt, just 72... I beat Jeff Holt this game week. Get in. That hasn't happened in a while. Florence Sander is off. Merry Christmas to you, mate. Thank you so much for supporting the stream this year. Is Lanzini an option? He is when he comes back. West Ham look like they put most of their play around Lanzini. Desiree Tarija, Jalen and Siraj, I promise to be on top of you at Game Week 17. Let's see Game Week 19. JP43, 76 points, even the second try striker Morata not playing. Well done, JP. Great score. TP's got to go. I will try. I forgot to upload the last one as soon as I could, so I will definitely try. And Merry Christmas, mate. Thank you so much for the support in the stream. You've been an absolute legend. Do you think Sterling will play next fixture? Should I transfer De Bruyne for him? I can't say that with 100% confidence, Andrew Haney. Do I think he'll play? My gut says yes, but there's so much potential. That team is so deep in depth. Wow, that I think there's the real risk that he could get rotated, but I think he'll play. I will wish my family a Merry Christmas, TP. Thank you very, very much. Barry Breckford also says Merry Christmas, JNO. Thank you very much. Shaqiri to Pogba, will it be wise? I can't see any issue with it, but that completely depends, Mukhtar, on who else you have. If you don't have Salah and Sterling, I'd say bring them in. Siraj Karanja, Mbappe plays against Farmers. But still, game time is game time, so I definitely think it hurts Man United players that there's so many options youngster-wise. On a Rebel, should I get rid of Hazard and Firmino for Morata and someone else? I like Firmino at the moment. I don't know why you want to get rid of him. I personally am not on the Hazard hype train at the moment. Not that I'm saying he's bad. He may come back into my side. I just feel like there's better options. Martial is ready, so is Rashford. We cannot load them. We'll have no one. We cannot loan them. We'll have no one. I had to go play right wing. The thing is, like, if you have no one, then why aren't they all starting? Why are you starting Lingard then? You could get rid of Lingard. You have Mata. You have Mkhitaryan. You have Pogba. You have Martial. You have Rashford. If Lukaku's playing up top and you're playing a 4-2-3-1, you have 5 players that can play. And to be honest, all of them, apart from... I know Pogba prefers to play centrally, But all of the rest of those 4, if you take Pogba out, that's 4 people for 2 positions. And when Pogba gets injured, that's 4 people for 3 positions. Now, yes, you could get another injury. That's only 3 people for 3 positions. Easy. Put in the loan contract. We can call your player back whenever we want. That's it. I think Salah and Coutinho are safe from rotation. Mane's not in great form right now. False 9, I'd never say safe from rotation because sometimes the games are so close together that it's going to happen. Just, again, the manager's thinking long term, so they have to do the rotation. Thomas Carvey says, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, Thomas. Hussein thinks Salah will be rested. Craig Manuel is off. Have a fantastic Christmas, my friend. Thank you so much for the support. United have a youth player in every game since like the 50s. Merry Christmas, Jano. Have a great one. I had my birthday on the 26th. Happy birthday, my friend. I did not know, so apologies, but happy birthday, Siraj. Hope you had a good one. And final question, because we are going to call it here, 1 hour, 30 minutes in. What do you think of Everton defender? I know Big Sam is good at defending, Burnley or West Ham or Everton. I would say Everton defenders right now look really good. Kenny has been good for me since I brought him in, and Kenny has been good pretty much since game week 14. One game where he didn't really return since game week 14 for the price of 4.4 million, and it was cheaper than that. So definitely look at Everton defenders right now. I think Big Sam's going to have a big effect on that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this stream, and thank you guys so much for all the support that you've given me over the year. Those of you that have just been watching the videos, those of you who got involved in the stream, those of you who watched the stream on replay, those of you that supported me on Patreon, supported me by pressing that sponsor button, supported me in any other way, tweeting out videos, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much. It does mean the world to me. Really, whilst I do have dreams of becoming even bigger as far as a YouTuber is concerned, the fact that 4,000 plus people have subscribed to my channel, the fact that I can get 600 people to watch my stream on a replay or live, the fact that I can get almost 4,000 views on videos if I release it early enough is absolutely crazy to me. Because if you actually think how many people that is, sometimes AFC Wimbledon don't have that many people at a game compared to how many people I have watch a video of mine. So thank you guys so much for all the support. I really do mean that. It's been a great ride this year. We're still going to have some videos before New Year's, so I'm sure I'm going to get all soppy on you guys again. But thank you so much. If you do want to support in any other way, there's all the links in the description, and you can sponsor the stream as well. I've been JNO. This has been the new Flock t-shirt. That's completely messed up my outro because I've completely lost train of thought. This has been FPL Today. I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game. Really tried to get creative and messed up my outro. Shocking.